Okay, in this lesson, let's have an overview to these new features, what are them, and in the next lessons, we will talk about them deeply. So, as you know, Cinema 4e R18 is one of the biggest update of Cinema 4e. What I mean that there's a lots of new features that most of the Cinema 4e users want before of this version, and all of them are just combined and included in this version of Cinema 4e. The first thing that is very nice about R18 is the adding a fracture verni. And fracture verni is a tools that allows you to create a fracture and explode out your object into different pieces without any plugins, without any third-party scripts or anything else. So before fracture verni inside of Cinema 4e in this version, we have to add some scripts and we could create fracture verni by help of some third-party plugins and script. But now it is integrated inside of Cinema 4e R18 that allows us to create fracture verni effect with just one click and adding your object to fracture verni. So we will talk about it deeply in the next lesson. So the other cool features, most of the features that are added are in MoGraph. It is an overall, there is a lots of other features and add-ons and improvement that are very small, and in this class I just want to talk about some of the famous and some of the great features, new features of R18. So the next one is the MoGraph selection and MoGraph weight paintbrush. MoGraph selection and MoGraph weight paintbrush allows us to paint on our cloner object and select some part of our cloner. Let me show you exactly what I mean. For example, if I just drag this and MoGraph, maybe just do it for grade. And now if I increased it like this and maybe just very nice, and so now we have our cloner. For example, if I go to MoGraph selection, and in MoGraph selection, and now I can just simply select one part of my cloner. For example, this part. If I just simply drag in here and holding the mouse button and drag the part that I want, the area, for example, this area, now I have this selection tags appear, and with this selection tag we can do a bunch of things. For example, we can add some effectors that are just specifically affect to this area and this part that we will talk about it in the next lesson. So that was from paint, weight paintbrush and selection. These are all, it's working by selection, but it is working with weight paintbrush by brushing up. The other cool features, the other cool effector is that push apart and re-effector. Push apart is an effector that lets you to avoid the intersecting of two objects, cloner objects between each other, and you can just control the intersection and putting them apart and control different parameters of intersection of these cloners, and that is very cool. That's very great for creating a very nice scene. So re-effector is a kind of collection of other effectors. I mean, with this re-effectors, you can control all of the effectors that you have on your scene with some parameters. For example, when you add a re-effector and you have random and formula and delay or any effector, you can just add all of them and control all of them in with just one slider, and just giving them one value or sliding between different values and these other stuff that are kind of master controller for effector that we'll talk about it in the next lesson. So and also there is some other features, kind of paint, sketch, spline smooth, and spline subtract, and these other stuff that are getting improved in this version. And also in material, if I create a new material in bump, there's new slider that calls parallax offset. That with parallax offset bump, you can create a parallax effect on your bump. I mean, you can create an object that simply it is a material, but it looks that it is created by editable by editing the mesh or creating or looking very complex. But in fact, that is a parallax effect that are added with bump on that material. I'm sure that it doesn't make sense now, but when we jump to this parallax offset effect or in bump, you can get a sense of what it does on our scene. So, and also there was another things that added in. If I add a bump, if I go to texture, there is an effect called thin film shader. Thin film shader is adding a kind of what should I say? As a kind of a bubbliness look and create a different looks for your reflection. And for example, if you want to create a material for bubble or foam or anything else like that, it's a kind of different shader and create a different look for your reflection. For example, we add a Fresnel. For example, it just create a mask and create a circleness around our reflection. But with thin film shader, it's just our reflection is all over our object, but it has a little bit difference between each shader that we'll talk about it in the next lesson. So these are some of the biggest and famous features of Cinema 4D R18. Although there was a lot of other small features that I don't want to talk about in this class. You can check it out on Maxon page, on Maxon website. But these are some of the famous improvement of Cinema 4D R18. So in the next lesson, we'll talk about fracture Voronoi in deeply. How can we create Voronoi effect in Cinema 4D using fracture Voronoi?